Alright, today I'm looking at this Alesis Midiverb 3. Came to me dead, no power supply. I plugged it in and nothing, no lights. So away we go. Alright, got the top off. Let's see what's in here. Alright, AC coming in. A couple of EMI inductors going through bridge. Looks like we got a couple of regulators over there. So it looks like I'm going to have to open up the bottom of this to take some measurements. Alright, down to the last screw. What we got going on here. Alright, nothing outstanding. Just a couple of regulator points in here. I'll break out the meter in a second and let you know what I find out. Okay, there was this heat shield covering up these three regulators. There's a 7812, a 7912, and a 7805. And if you give me a second, I'll show you what the readings are. Yeah, I grabbed ground. I grabbed ground off of one of the supporting bolts. Let me put AC into it. Okay, the first one here is the 7912. And she's got negative 22 coming in, and I hope you can see that. I'll make sure I'm in frame. Can you see that meter? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, covered up with my hand. Anyway, output is negative 12, close enough. The output of the positive 12, close enough. But the output of the 7805 is only 2.3, so we got a problem there. It's either the regulator or something on the board shorting us out. The input is 375, the output is 232. So let me troubleshoot that area a little bit and we'll get back. And I've got my meter set on a 200 ohm scale. Usually when I ohm out a 5 volt circuit, I'll get a lot less resistance than what I'm seeing here at the output of the 5 volt pin. So that's letting me know more than likely I've got a regulator problem, probably. So there's a couple of quick things I can do to check that. Be back in a second. Alright, without really getting intensely into there, there's the 7805. Pin 1 is the input, pin 2 is ground, pin 3 is the output. Now, I can, with a pair of wire cutters, just clip those leads right in the middle, and that allows me to solder them back together, should I not find a problem. Very quickly, let me just clip the output right there. Okay, now I've disconnected the output of the regulator, and I'm going to measure that and see what I got going on. Alright, so very briefly, with the output of the regulator clipped, I'm still running bad. My input isn't up there. So I'm going to clip the input and see. I hope you can see this close enough. There's this 1N4001 diode that feeds the 5 volt supply. And on one side of it I have 9 volts AC, and on the other side of it I got nothing. So if there's a dead short over here, then the diode blew up, or maybe the diode just opened up, or maybe it's not, whatever. Let me show you. Okay, I got my meter on 20 volts AC. I'm still grounded. Here is one side of the diode. And, oops, it'd be nice if you could read the meter when I do that, right? Okay, there's 9.5 on the one side. And the other side has hardly any AC whatsoever, and check the DC. barely 4 volts on it, and that's just not right. So let me replace, I'm going to open up and check the associated parts. First I'll start with the diode. There's some caps in line, but the caps look great physically. Doesn't mean that they're not shorted. I'll go from there. Alright, I may as well show you this. There's 4 diodes in a row, and the typical reading is going to be, oops, you set your meter on the diode PN junction test, diode test, 0.4, 0.6, 0.5, something in that range, consistent. And when I get to that diode, it isn't right. It keeps growing and it's not the right value. So for sure that diode is bad. I'm going to replace that and come back. In the meanwhile, I'll also solder the 5-volt regulator back together, and let's see what we got. Alright, I'm back. I've replaced the diode, checked the circuit, resoldered the legs on the 7805. And we'll plug it in. Now we got 12 volts on the input and 5 volts on the output of the 7805, which means, of course, that she's working. So let me turn it around, hook it up, and see what it sounds like. Alright, I'm back. I just hooked it up. Adjusting the input, output, and the mix. That mix sounds horrible, so I'm going to definitely hit that with a little WD-40. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back, and I did. So WD-40 the pots, rotated them back and forth so they're nice and clean. Resoldered, flowed the connector jacks that hit the outside of the board, like the inputs and the outputs, and the pots themselves. And now you'll hear, okay, there's no more crackle on them. I wonder how you do a factory reset. They all seem to be the same. Oh. I keep expecting to hear distortion. Extortion. It's mainly a reverb unit, so I'm not going to hear any of that. But I've got to tell you, man, that thing sounds sweet and clean. See ya.